Happy Thursday, everybody. Fred Lee in the building. Hey, I just want to talk to the mothers out there, and I want to remind you how important of a role you are. You have a very important role that was only God assigned, and a lot of mothers, they're not allowing themselves to be that vessel to please God. Here goes. When you separate a man from his child, whether he's what the world considers a deadbeat or he's active, it is your job to make sure that father, if he is not active, that he's active. Now, you can only do but so much, but you can always reach out for a period of time. Let's give it 6 months. Let's give it a year. You can always let that man know if he's not an endangerment, and you know if this man is an endangerment to his child, and you know if he's not. If he's not an endangerment to his child, let him know how he can get in contact with his child. It doesn't have to, unless it's court order, it doesn't have to be a physical location where he can get in contact with his child. You can say, hey, look, call this number at this time, this day, this week. You can get in contact with your child. And you can supervise that conversation. They have facilities now where people can go see their child. One of them is Safe Harbor. If you're in Virginia, if you were I'm at, Safe Harbor. But they have those type of facilities in each state where a man could go see his child. And not even just that. Sometimes you may, if you're really connected to an organization that could facilitate visiting, it's a way. Because mothers, y'all jobs are important. I want to tell y'all something about my mother. Before y'all go off in the comments, before you negate what I'm saying, my mother, and I had both of my parents in my life. My mother passed 12 years ago when I was 22. I'm 34 now. But when I got older, late middle school, early high school, my dad and I, we had a lot of arguments. And a lot of our arguments was on fashion. My dad really just couldn't connect with me for a long time when it came to fashion. I wanted the $50 jeans, I wanted the Azore or the Nietzsche. That was my age group, the Rockaware, the Academics. I wanted the LRG, the Miss Scheme. People that's in their 30s, early 30s, late 20s, y'all know what I'm talking about. And one time my dad took me to the mall, and he was taking me to a store, and long story short, we got into it in the mall. We darn near knocked the whole glass to one of the stores, the wall of glass into the store. It was in Coliseum Mall. And then I got away from my dad. We got upstairs, and, I did something that I regret for a lifetime. And after that happened, of course, I ended up catching the bus home. My dad went his way. My mother was the centerpiece to making sure that she always told me, hey, your dad asked about you. And I'm pretty confident she was telling my dad, hey, your son's doing okay. He asked about you. And it's not that parents aren't getting along because both parents are delusional. One parent's going to say the other parent delusional. You know what I'm saying? Parents are getting along because parents are forgetting their assignments. These assignments come from God. If you are a father out there and you're not going about a peaceful way of reaching out to your child, if you can't contact the mother, go to court and do it through the court system. I mean, if the church is not working for you to help you, and pastors, y'all not advocating enough. I just want to go out here and say it. Pastors, y'all are not advocating enough for families the way that y'all could be. You're staying out of the middle of things, but you're trying to purpose yourself for the community, but you're only picking and choosing what in the community you're going to help with. Now, back to the mothers and fathers. Fathers, if you have a mother and she's being provocative, and y'all can't have a peaceful conversation in regards to visitation and things like that, equality, then yes. And you can't find any help in the community, no middleman, no middle person, go through the court system. I would recommend the court system being last because I had to go through the court system. It costs a lot of money, a lot of headache. You got new people meeting a new situation. Sometimes they misjudge, and there are a lot of injustices. Even with my cases now, it's a lot of injustices. But I did what I had to do. I tried every other avenue. Get what I'm saying? Mothers, y'all hold an important role to not that father, but to God. Donnie McClurkin had this song, after you've done all you can, you just stand. Mothers, have y'all peacefully gathered together, and even if you have a significant other that's not your child's father, peacefully gathered together your camp and said, hey, I'm going to go about this in a peaceful and strategic way because this boy or this girl needs to know his or her father. And get creative, because mothers, y'all are the centerpiece. That baby didn't get here. Those children didn't get here without you. You helped make the play. That man impregnated you, but you helped make the play. You got that baby here. It is your assignment to God to make sure you get that baby back to his or her father. It is your assignment. You may not know this because of the world and all the exceptions that exist, but it is your assignment to make sure. My mother made sure, because my mother knew that one day she wasn't going to be here. When my mother passed when I was 22, I was a junior in college. My dad and I, we always been on speaking terms. You know, we never went a whole year without speaking. I always knew where to find my dad. But you want to know how I always knew where to find my dad at? My dad was always somewhere he could be found. And if I didn't know he was at home, then my mom could tell me he was at work. Mothers, a lot of mothers know, because y'all nosy anyhow. Let's just go ahead and say it. You know everything about, some of y'all mothers know everything about that child's father, where to find that child's father, at what time, how long he been with this girl, how long he been with that girl, who at his house right now, what car he drive, if he in his friend's car, what club he at, what lounge he at, what football game he coaching at. Y'all know how to find these men. And I just want to challenge mothers and fathers too. To remember, your assignment is to the Creator, God. God made it so your child can be here. Stop giving in to social media and giving in to the ears of the crowd and giving in to grudges. And just remember, you need to do whatever you can do peacefully that doesn't lead to violence. So you got to speak peacefully. You got to speak life into that child's father. Fathers, you got to speak life into that child's mother. People don't want to be receptive to these things, but if you want to stay out of court, this has to go this way. If you want to stay out of court. But by all means, if you don't want to be peaceful, you don't want to be respectful, you don't want to have structured conversations, equality between the co-parenting, then keep doing what you're doing and keep having drama. And then somebody leads to getting hurt, somebody leads to getting prison time, the child suffers. So if you love your child the way that God ordained you or anointed you to love your child, then put that love into fruition. Put it into play. Stop giving each other a hard time. Mothers, y'all are the centerpiece. Y'all the most important piece on the board. And men, don't bash me for this, but when y'all play chess, those who play chess, the king can only move one space at a time. But it's the versatility of the other pieces on the board that help protect that king. Queen can do all the moves that all the other pieces can do. The queen can move as a rook, side to side, up and down. The queen can move one space as a pawn, or diagonally as a pawn trying to take another pawn. The knight can make the shape of the L. Now the queen can't do that. Can't do the L shape, but the queen can do something compatible to an L. You know, three steps up, two over. You know, it might be in two different plays, but the queen is so virtuous and versatile, it can happen. Hey, that's all I want to say to y'all. I know it's been lengthy, but women, mothers, you can go about peaceful ways to make sure that that lifeline God gave to you through your child is connected to the person who needs it. If you got a knucklehead, what a lot of people call baby daddy, it's because he know not what he doing to himself. But you can be held accountable when God says, hey, when you have that personal conversation, that burning bush moment with God, did you reach out to this child's father in the way that I told you to? Did you take the mature people with you that I told you to take? Did you go by yourself? Because some of y'all just need to go by yourself. Your husbands are in the way, your boyfriends are in the way, because they don't understand until they are parents. And when they're parents, they'll get it. They will get it. When you become a parent and you interfere with somebody else being a parent to their child, you'll get it. And if you don't get it, it's because you're being stubborn, you're being disobedient to the maker, to God, and consequences come with that. You get what I'm saying? And I just want to say about these consequences, all consequences ain't got to come through the opposing party. God see everything that you do, and he see everything that you don't do. That's all I want to say today. Rock with me for this 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Comments are open. Disrespectful comments, YouTube not going to show me anyhow. Comments that are uplifting or logical, I'm pretty sure they're going to let stick to the board. Hope y'all have a great day. This is Fred Lee. Mothers, you are an important centerpiece on the board. Fathers, y'all get prepared, because I do believe after watching this message, there's going to be some fathers that sought after. All right? And fathers, I want y'all to know that if you're not in your child's life, you need to go about a way of finding out. Get on the internet. Find out what you can do. Talk to some logical people. You don't want to talk to people that say, hey, go fight that person, go do this and that to that person. You want to talk to people that's talking some sense, because we all have to be under the umbrella of obedience to what God blessed us with. The reason I'm alive today, I'm going to say this and I'm going to get off of here, is because of my son. And what I mean is, my son was my lifeline, because before he was born, or before I got word he was going to be born, I was at a low point in my life. I was depressed, and I beat depression. The first thing I did, I stopped drinking. I've been sober 6.5 years, since July 14, 2016. And I held on long enough to meet my son. I didn't meet my son until he was 3 months old. But ever since the day I know that he was born, which I found out I was making a pizza delivery, and I was teaching full time too, but I was making a pizza delivery, and it happened to be the cousin's house of the mother of my son. And he said, Fred, your child is here. Your child is born. I said, you kidding me? It's funny, because the person who told me that my child was born and showed me the first picture of my son, he's deceased. He passed like a year or two ago, maybe a year ago. But the thing is, God always sends a way to reconnect you with your child if you're looking for your child. But to my mothers, if that man ain't looking for his child, find a way to reach out. And not just one way, passionately go about it. Earnestly go about it. To connect this man with his child. And then after you've done all you can, you get out of God's way and let God do the rest. Then you can say, hey, I really tried reaching out. I'm not saying waste your life. I'm not saying throw your life away trying to find this man to teach you to be a father. I'm not saying raise a man. What I'm saying is, please God, you're doing it because you know God wanted it this way. Your child didn't get here by mistake. That's a broad conversation. I can't really touch much on that. But what I mean is this. For whatever reason your child got here, that child got here. That's what I mean. It could have been a mistake to be with the person you weren't supposed to be with, but the baby existence wasn't a mistake. That's what I mean. Because the terrible things can happen to impregnate women. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, God didn't make a mistake of getting your child here. What you had to undergo to get your child here, that's between you and God. I have no say-so on that. But I wish you all the best in love. Hope you have a great day. Hope y'all rock with me all 12 and a half minutes. Keep it there.